afternoon. The rain really came back in force in time for the mid-mark of April. From the KUOW newsroom, this is Seattle Now. I'm Paige Browning with a roundup of today's top stories. It's Tuesday, April 14th. Before we get rolling today, do you want to be in a Seattle Now focus group? We are always looking to improve Seattle Now, and we do that by listening to you, our listeners, our friends. We're getting together a focus group, and if you're interested in joining, fill out the survey in the show notes. And thank you. Some desperately needed snow is on the way to the Cascades. We're talking 10 to 20 inches. That's how much could drop on the Cascades and passes. With that, a winter storm warning's in effect until 11 o'clock tomorrow night for the mountains. Meteorologist Jeff Michalski with the National Weather Service says the state still needs a lot more than this.
It would be okay for recreation, if you're going up there for skiing or just going up to the mountains to play in the snow. But, in terms of drought impacts, no, there's still significant impacts due to the lack of seasonal snowpack that we haven't gotten.
Michalski says some areas like White Pass have just 25% of the snowpack they typically do this time of year. Tonight's snow will likely be some of the last this winter. The weather warms up over the next month. Voters in Seattle will vote on a library levy on ballots this August. Today, the City Council voted unanimously to send the renewal, a $480 million package, to voters. The proposal renews the property tax levy that voters approved 6 years ago, which funds about a third of the Seattle Public Library's budget. It would cost the average homeowner roughly $191 a year. A few shorter stories to catch you up on today. Blame's being lobbed after December's historic flooding. Blame when it comes to preparation. Residents in the town of Pacific, whose homes and businesses were damaged, are suing King County and the King County Flood Control District. They claim county officials knew the levees and temporary barriers on the Green and White rivers were in bad shape before record rainfall hit. The plaintiffs want the county and the flood district to pay for property damages. We're tracking how the Iran war is being felt here, and it's still all sticker shock at the fuel pump. Diesel prices hit an all-time high on Friday in Washington state. They've come down 2 cents since then to $6.94 a gallon. Gasoline sits at a pricey $5.39 average statewide. And plans for discount grocer Winco to open in North Seattle have hit a roadblock. The Seattle Times reports a hearing examiner ruled against the city over the project's environmental impact. A coalition called Lake Washington Working Families had challenged the city's assessment that the impact would not be significant. According to the paper, the ruling could delay the project or cause Winco to abandon it. Not to be dramatic, but the Seattle Storm seemed to have won the WNBA draft. Last night, the Storm added 4 players, including a player some saw as the best athlete in the whole draft.
The Seattle Storm select Awa Fam Tiam from Spain.
Awa Fam Tiam is a 6'4" center. The Storm also snagged former LSU guard Flau'jae Johnson, a standout in a surprising trade with Golden State, plus 2 more additions later in the draft. Analysts say the draft worked in the Storm's favor in a total rebuild year in which they lost their 5 leading scorers before the draft. The Storm will tip off May 8th. In Science today, University of Washington astronomers have published rare evidence of 2 planets colliding. As KNKX's Izzy Ross reports, that could help us understand how planets like Earth are created.
Andy Tsanidakis is a doctoral student in astronomy at UW. He spends a lot of his time studying strange stars. But data from a star about 11,000 light-years away showed something especially odd.
While the visible light was actually slowly disappearing, in the infrared light, this source, this star, was actually getting brighter and brighter and brighter. And that was really cool.
He and his colleagues have a hypothesis. 2 planets collided in front of the star, blotting out the light but emitting a lot of heat. Such an event is one theory for how planets like Earth are created.
We might be witnessing something that is very fundamental, one of the last pieces of the puzzle when it comes to assembling planets.
And that, Tsanidakis says, could ultimately help us understand how life begins. I'm Izzy Ross reporting.
For dessert today, some candy news. For the first time since 1972, the creators of Almond Roca and Mountain Bars will introduce some new flavors. The Seattle Times reports the longtime Tacoma candy maker Brown & Haley will sell hazelnut Mountain Bars this summer and pistachio Roca next winter. Next time on Seattle Now, several companies are petitioning Seattle to build large-scale data centers in the city. But Seattle City Light's concerned about the potential impact.
If these data centers get hooked up to the city's grid, that would impact the utility's ability to serve its existing customers and the growth in demand that its existing customers are already forecast to have.
Hear more Wednesday morning. That's all for today from the KUOW Newsroom in Seattle. Our producer's Andy Hurst, and I'm Paige Browning. Seattle Now and KUOW are members of the NPR network. See ya.